Hello, everybody. Just getting some last things together. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tonight we got a great show. Be paying homage to an icon in the city of Chicago, someone that's very dear to gospel music, and we so appreciate his life and legacy. Let's see here. All right. Let's see here. So welcome to the travel, where we celebrate our own, and gospel music has a very strategic, gripping effect on the heart and soul. My perspective, inspiration is rebirth every time that I note a song. A writer writes, a arranger arranges, a musician plays a melody, and a record is played. So tonight, we're traveling back into the legacy to this legacy that has occupied strength, joy, relationship, kingdomship, my own created word, in the community, okay? And this legend before us has embarked upon his own style. He's a trendsetter, for better words. And that's none other than Brother Keith Butler and the Delegation for Christ Chorale from the west side of Chicago, a musician, a director, a leader, a legend, great writers and great producers and musicians and singers has most certainly come from this organization. But right before we get started, we're going to go ahead and play He's Been Good to Me. Actually, we have some exclusive footage, so this is going to be something great. I'll be watching it for the first time, too. And we're going to go from there. And thank you so much. And if you get a chance, go ahead and share because we want a lot of people to see this live versus watching the replay. I see a lot of people on here. Jason Taylor, I see Nathaniel, Charles, Joseph Walker. Everybody, welcome to the travel. All right, we're going to go ahead to He's Been Good to Me. Keith Butler in the Delegation for Christ Chorale. Yep, but however, too, want to make sure that we uh, uh, do not forget to mention Aretha Franklin, the passing of the queen of soul music, truly an icon, a truly icon, and want to definitely say that right before we get started. So we're gonna go ahead and go to the video. All right. Now, when we get out of here, we're gonna call Jason. was definitely that's a classic. That's a signature song from the Delegation for Christ Chorale. That's something that introduced me to this phenomenal legacy, and I'm so appreciative of that song. That song there hit the airways hard in Chicago. I don't know about other cities, but I'm sure it did because this legend before us that we're speaking of, is most certainly nationwide and internationally known. So, however, I know that when it hit the airways in Chicago, it was just that the horns at the beginning of the song, it was just, you knew that was the Delegation, and all you could think of is Keith up there directing and just thinking about the West Side. So, but however, nevertheless, we're not going to delay. We're going to give Jason Taylor a call, and we're going to talk with him. Hopefully, you all are enjoying. I see Tony Coleman just logged in. That's someone that's real dear to me. Someone that has a special spot. It's going to that one. Should be the one that has a conversation going already. You see a conversation I called out. There you go. That's the one. All righty.
Hey man.
Hey man, check this out. Let me introduce you really fast to those that may not know who we have right here. Listen, Jason Taylor. I like to say that he's a proprietor in his own right. Is he still there? Try to give him a call again. Go ahead and hit your camera icon so we can. Yeah, there you go. All right. So I like to say that he's a proprietor in his own right of organization that I would definitely just create right now, called the West Side Gospel Historians. He has a very vast, precious, precious jewel in memory and knowledge of gospel music, and it's so much of an honor to have Jason Taylor on the travel tonight. Welcome.
Hey man, good to see you. How you feel?
I feel great. Let's go ahead and just dive in, okay? When the Delegation comes to mind, what is your first thought? Can you turn it down a little bit? In the head.
One of the greatest, and I mean one of the greatest West Side choirs in the world. I mean, there was my memory with the Delegation goes back to just with the Delegation alone to the Mars Hill Baptist Church musicals, 5916 West Lake Street, under the late Dr. Clarence E. Storer Sr., man.
Wait a minute, let's pause there for 1 second, okay? Did you say the late?
Yes, that was the founder.
Wait, okay, but his son was a pastor too then?
His son is the pastor now.
You're going to get our feedback if you do that. Yeah. Okay. I was thinking about the son, okay, but his father. Okay. All right, go ahead, continue.
So the father was the pastor of the church then. And Mars Hill will be packed, standing room only. You couldn't even get up and down Lake Street, Mayfield, nowhere near Mars Hill when Keith Butler and Delegation had their concerts, musicals, or whatever it was standing room only. And to see a choir of this magnitude I think between 40 and 60 strong, man, in robes and uniform, sounding his best, top-notch musicians from the west side of Chicago. And Keith will be clean from the head to the toe. Man, it was something to see back in that day, man.
I hear you. Listen, man, that memory right there, it takes me back. I remember there was one particular there was an engagement that he was booked for on the west side. It was at Proviso East, I want to say. A fella by the name of Michael Tillman. And I tell you, they were the special guests. And those people there, they came in with dignity. They were styled. They had order. And while we're on order, there was a song that he used to direct, and I almost thought it was his in a way because they did it so well. And do you know what I'm talking about? It's by one of Icon himself, but he's no longer with us. It was one song that they used to do, and he would direct the mess out that song.
He used to direct. I remember he used to direct "My Soul Doth Magnify the Lord."
That's it, dog.
By Orlando Draper. Couldn't nobody. And I mean nobody. Next to Orlando Draper, Keith Butler was the next thing, man. I'm telling you, dog.
That's it. I'm glad I didn't have to say anything. Okay.
No, you had to say nothing, man.
So let's see. What else can we say? So in your perspective, let us know what has the delegations helped polish or create in gospel music.
Well, let me go back with Keith. Keith has it to me. Let me go this way. Keith has inspired professionalism across the board, from the singers to the musicians, and I think that's something that we are missing in today's gospel music is the professionalism, the uniformity of gospel music as a whole. Keith and Delegation will render some of everything, man. It just wasn't just your latest up-to-date gospel music. They would do it all, man, and I think that's what stood out about him while he was on the scene. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Well, listen, let me tell you this. I mean, because we can talk on and on and on with you because me and you, I have such a relationship with you on the gospel music history side that, I mean, we can just talk until the end of time. So I'm going to just reserve some time because, I mean, the history that you have, you know, it goes beyond Keith Butler, but, you know, it's definitely a piece, you know, Keith Butler is definitely a piece in the history, and that's why I'm so grateful to have you because, you know, history, it's not one person that create history, but it's a team, a collaboration of things that create history. And I'm glad that we have this one piece that we are putting together to go ahead and shine the light on gospel music, and especially in the area of the west side of Chicago, the community choir. So lastly, really quick, Jason, give Keith Butler a public message.
Listen, my memory of Keith goes back to 5 years old. I was a student at Morris Hill School, and Keith was over the music department for the school, and we had a concert. This was when Walt Whitman and the Soul Children had just released the first album with Think Big on it.
Okay.
I remember those memories. And then also my memories with Keith. Keith, I love you. I remember as a kid going to United Baptist Church for Paul Turner, Keith Butler, and Creation together. Those memories, man, those memories have carried me. And I've watched you, and I watched you direct, teach, and play. And because of you, the musician that I am, the director that I am, the teacher that I am, the trainer that I am, I looked up to you over the years, and I thank God for God using you to teach musicians like myself that came up under you how to play, how to accompany, how to teach, how to train, and do all the things in gospel music that I have achieved in life. Keith, I thank you and I love you, man. I'm much obliged to you. Thanks, sir.
And Jason, thank you so much for your time, man. We will chat later. And
Yes,
ladies and
sir.
gentlemen, hand clap. All right, we'll talk to you
Thanks,
later.
man.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, now that was just powerful all in itself. So as you can see from another perspective, as we travel back, we are just highlighting and enlightening today's generation of this giant that has paved the way for gospel music, choir music on the west side of Chicago. Now what we're going to do, we have a special person that we're going to go. Hello, are you there?
Yes, sir.
We are live, we are live, we are live. Give me 1 second, okay? I'm going to pull something up.
All right.
All right.
I appreciate you.
Make sure we can hear. Say something else, Deke.
Good evening, everyone,
Okay.
wherever you are.
All right. So listen here. Here's a man that has a very trimming effect on the beginning and mention of my career. This is someone that I looked up to as a teenager for guidance, and he's always delivered every single time. And what better way or setting to rekindle our memories? Here we have on the travel paying homage to a group that he managed for years and is none other than Deacon Joseph Manuel. How are you?
I'm doing fine, Brother Eric.
That's
How
awesome.
you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm honored to have you here. You are definitely a trailblazer within your own right. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Deke, when did you first meet Keith?
Oh, wow. I met Keith when he was either 12 years old or 13.
Wow.
I probably would say a teenager, 13.
Wow.
Yeah, there are some funny stories because this young man just came over and he grabbed the piano or the organ and we couldn't get him out.
Wow.
And I saw how the group responded at Mars Hill, the Celestial Choir responded to Keith and sat down with Pastor Senior Stores, who was our late pastor, and I told him about this young man, and he said, well, let's see. Let's see, because that was his favorite word, we shall see.
We shall see. Wait a minute. Let's pause right there for a second. And now you're giving me information I didn't know. So Keith, he actually was the minister of music over there at Mars Hill?
No, he wasn't
No,
the
okay.
minister of music,
Okay.
but he was the organist for the young people.
Excuse
which was called
me.
at that time the Celestial Choir.
Wow. That's vital information. I never knew that. I never knew that.
He was the youth organist for the Celestial Choir.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, some of the first members of DFCC Delegation came from that group.
Wow. That tells a lot of his leadership whenever someone will follow someone. You know what I mean? Because people
That's
just
exactly right.
don't follow anybody. But however, let's go here. What was your task of managing this group? Like the task of managing this group, what did it embody? Like what were your day-to-day tasks as just managing this group?
Well, now, when Keith started Delegation, those many years ago, I joined as a member. I did not officially come on. He had someone that he had chosen to be manager.
Wow.
I came on as a member. And throughout the years, well, it wasn't that long. It wasn't really years. In a little while,
Okay.
And that's how he and I laugh. I always tell him, thank you for allowing me to practice on delegation.
Okay.
when they first started, because that was, I had previous managing experience,
Okay.
but it had been on the other side. It had been on the R&B side.
Oh, shucky. Now,
Yeah,
what was you, soul, rhythm and soul, or jazz, or what was your?
Just soul. I used to manage a group. We were on nickel records at that time.
Wow. Okay.
And it was a different type of group. It was a choir that sang rock and roll.
You know what? Let's stop there because you're gonna take my mind to some other places like that. That history right there is just like I don't want to. Let's move on. Because I mean that type of history, that what you just gave, that nugget right there, like that's something that I will ponder on and research. Because I've never heard of that before, and that's phenomenal to me. But
I'll give you little tidbits, and then I'm going. I'd rather talk about DLCC.
Oh yeah.
The group that I managed at that time was with a DJ here in Chicago. His name was Richard McGee.
Wow.
And, he's deceased now, but Richard was part of WDON radio station here in Chicago.
Okay.
And we did all types of songs. We sang everybody's songs, but it was unique because it was from a choir.
Right. That's amazing. Listen, let me ask you something. Okay. Deke, I wants to know, okay? If you could do it all over again, would you do it?
Yeah. If I could do it all over again, I would do it better for Keith.
Why would you say better? I think you did a phenomenal job. I mean, I met Keith through you. I met Kim through you. I mean, you kept them going, and you were so organized, and you were so lowly. You were meek. You were someone that was easy to talk to. So I think that I'm gonna just tell you that I think that you did a phenomenal job.
Well, I thank you. I really thank you for that. But you know how it is when you're doing the job and you look back over, you see little things that others don't, and you say, "Oh, I should have done that this way, or I could have did that much better."
Right.
But like I said, I tease Keith all the time, and I said, "Thank you for allowing me to practice." But I booked Keith. I did everything for them. I handled all of their bookings, all of their managerial. As a matter of fact, that's how I started my company, Emmanuel Music.
It sure was. Thank you for bringing that up. But look, we're on a time refrain, so we can talk so much. But let me just get here. I got two more things I want to ask you, okay? Now, how when watching the delegation performing, how, from your perspective, what was the audience response? How did they react to the group?
At that time, we backed up. Beverly Crawford, when a lot of people did not know Beverly Crawford.
Okay.
We also backed up the late, oh my God, what was it? Oh geez, I'm getting old. Out of California. We backed him up also. I can't, oh my God.
Not James. I know you're not talking about James. Is it a choir? Hawkins. The Hawkins?
No, it wasn't one of the Hawkins. Oh, Keith ought to know exactly.
Well, we're going to ask.
We've got a picture of the choir backing him up.
Not Daryl Coley, right?
That's who it was.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
you, sir. So when you get old, you forget something. Yeah. And people would hear the power that came out of Delegation.
Okay.
Delegation was unique. At that time, here in the city, we had all. It was the sound of the community choir.
Okay.
And Delegation came out of that sound, along with all of these other great choirs that you still hear.
Right.
Tommy's was the first, and that was our mentors.
Right.
But Delegation was right there, made up from people all over the city of Chicago.
My God, the memories. But listen, real briefly, give Keith a public message, real brief. Give him a public message.
Keith, you don't know the number of people and young people who are now, I still call you phenomenally followed you. And people still talk to me about Delegation.
Yes.
And if it wasn't for God working in your life, and I'm just saying congratulations, and
Yes.
I'm thankful that God allowed you to come our way.
Yes.
When you was a kid, and how you have grown to the man that you are now. You're a phenomenal musician, a phenomenal clinician, teaching choirs, even right now down in Houston. I keep up with you, brother. So I wanted to say congratulations to you, and you know Deke is always at your call.
Well, Deke, thank you so much for being a part of the travel. This is definitely a part of history, and we will definitely be talking to you soon. And you almost made me shed a tear, so I'm gonna go ahead and get off the phone with you, because I don't want to be doing no crying on here. Okay? Thank you, Deke.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen,
all the
Deacon
DFCC
Joseph.
members that are listening in, keep going.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Oh, wait. Right before you go, what was
Yes, sir.
did you find
Yes,
the name of the deceased? The member that...
The Sharon.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll text it to you.
Okay, Deke.
All right.
All right. So that was Deacon Joseph Manuel. He was the manager for the group. Man, many memories with him. So we're gonna go into a song really fast. If you can just get it says His Love. This is gonna be an MP4, but I don't want the whole song. If you can go right into like perhaps maybe 3 minutes into that, I just want the people to hear the bridge. I don't want to get the words mixed up, but the song says something like, His love spreads across the land, bringing hope to every man. That message within itself is amazing. You can make that full too. Yeah. And right around 3 something in there. And we got Mad Max Studios, right? Mad Pro Studios. This is Marcus Hall, a phenomenal media guy and just a photographer here in Phoenix. I want to give him definitely give his props where they're due, and he's definitely on the move. So we're proud of him. Just like right in 3 area. Yeah, that should be good. Wow, I mean, that song, don't it bring tears to you? Do you hear it? His love spreads across the land. while we're playing this real fast, I just received an email. We're going to go ahead and read this. This is from Keith Butler. This is from Donald Buster Woods, a phenomenal musician. You are no intro needed, but he writes. It's amazing. He says Keith Butler in the Delegations was one of the premier choirs in our city. And Keith Butler was an amazing director and trainer. He first met Keith at the OPRF, I'm not sure what that is, and watched his masterful style of directing and singing and teaching. He got a chance to play for Keith at the age of 18. Let's see here. And it was a great experience. This is Donald Buster Wood talking. The iconic Donald Buster Woods. It was a great experience. Musicians love the choir scene. They love the 90s. They love Keith. It was the heyday for community choirs. And Chicago, Keith was friends with some of the biggest names in gospel. So he would actually have artists come all through from the city of Chicago to the west side, and they would flock to see what the Delegations was picking up. The Delegations has always had a very solid band. The choir was always killing. Donald says that he's proud to be a West Sider, and he's proud to know you, Keith. That's touching, and he's proud to know you personally. And we taught music together at a smaller conservatory in the western suburbs, and he is to be commended for a job well done and keeping gospel music hot on the west side. That's words from Donald Buster Woods, and since we're there, we're gonna go ahead and play a couple of videos from some choir members. You should see something that say Lewis, and we're gonna play that. I see my brother, he's online, Derek. Congratulations for giving me a nephew. I see Willie Taylor, Donald Buster Woods. We just, of course, played your, definitely have some other people. Let's see here. We'll go ahead and play this here. But thank you all so much, and please share. I want everyone to know that we are honoring and celebrating a legend, a living legend right now, and he lives in Houston, I believe, right now, and we're so proud of this man, and I'm so honored that I had the opportunity to do this, and we're going to go ahead and play this video here.
When the name comes to me, the first thing that comes to my mind is he's been good to me.
Say David
I've known Keith since since 1992. I met Keith in high school. He was a recent graduate, and he would come over and he would teach our high school choir, different things on different ways on how to sing, which he had learned from, our legendary Marshall Holmes, which was just like family to us. I went on later to sing with Delegation for Christ Chorale, and I just always admired him. I always wanted to be just like him. I always looked at him like just the talent that he had and the way he wanted to worship God was inspirational. So inspirational that that's just the way I am today. And when I just think of the power and the influence and the impact that he's had on people's lives, just in his ministry, I hats off to him. I don't think it'll be anything or anyone that can ever be just like him, because he made you want to give it all you got. So I appreciate him being in my life for this long. I always call him my pops because I look up to him, and the things he's done across the United States,
I think he might be off.
Especially within the city of Chicago, it's just made me proud of him. So, again, when I think about him, there's so many words I could say about him, but I just love him. And again, like I said, my main thing is that I can say is that he's been good to me. And I would love to see us come back, but who knows? You never know. if not, he's still doing great things, you know, to influence youth.
You can go ahead and cut him off.
And he's just inspiration. He's a great family man.
Switch it to the other
he loves God. And what more can you ask for? And I would also say he's a great friend. So, love you, man. Keep it up.
Hey everybody, my name is David L. Massey, and I come to pay homage, to pay tribute to the awesome, talented, gifted, ministry-led gift to the body of God, Keith Butler, and the Delegation for Christ Chorale. That choir, I believe, was birthed from the Oak Park and River Forest High School Gospel Choir, where Keith and I met under our shared mentor, Marsha Holmes. And we've shared many, countless music ministry moments where it was always a great time. I'll put it that way, rarely come across such a gem in musical directors such as Keith. He's very focused, he's a talented musician, and he knows how to convey his message and his heart for God through music ministry. So, Eric Clark, thank you so much for taking the time to honor him, to pay homage to him. Those of you who are watching that were part of Delegation for Christ Chorale, I love you all, love you guys. Been listening to you for years, and probably the only ones that still have your CD and still play it and still teach from it. So, thank you so much, Keith Butler, for being a part of my journey, and I appreciate you for allowing me to be a part of yours. I love you. I appreciate you. I thank you. I honor God for your musical gift. Take care.
All right, we got another video we're going to play here. Let me shoot some names out. I saw somebody. Lance Ellis. My God, that name. Oh my God, he was a trailblazer on the West Side as well. I see Henry Johnson Tone. He's on here. Go ahead, play the video out. It's a lot of people. Keith, you're so loved.
Yo, what's good, man? Eric, man, we've been together for a long time, Doc, bro. Anyway, man, listen, I want to give a shout out to Keith Butler, man. You know, he from the West Side. South Side folks didn't really mess with West Side like that. You know, when I was coming up, but we definitely was singing his music. Been good to me, worship Jesus, and I just want to say thank him and continue to impact, you know, nations and continue to impact just gospel music overall. He made such a contribution to music in the gospel industry, and I'm just grateful that I had the opportunity to witness that sound, that Chicago sound. He definitely brings that, man, and I'm telling you, God is still being good to me, and I'm so ever grateful, man. Best wishes to you, Eric, man. Keep doing what you're doing, bro, man. I see you out there, bro. God got you. All right, love you, bro.
Man, that was the one and only Lafayette Young. We got a couple more, but I'm going to just play one more now. This is another icon from the West Side of Chicago, and he has a message for Keith Butler and the Delegation. It's coming up now.
That how much I enjoyed our fellowships when we were doing our choirs in the early to late 90s. It was a magical time for me, and I know it was a magical time for you. We really had some great times back then. And shouts out to Mr. Eric that's doing this for you, man. I really appreciate him for honoring you on this night, because you deserve it. And I just want to tell you, man, to be encouraged, and I love you. And I might even be coming down there to Houston with you, little bro.
right. I hope you all enjoyed that little collage there. There's many more to come, but we're going to give someone a call. I'm not going to say his name until he come up on the screen because I want Keith to be really, really surprised with who we're calling now. Keith, I want you to know you are so loved. Never, ever, ever feel like anyone has forgotten the impact that you have, the impact that you've made. Because I'm telling you, man, you definitely made an impact in my life, and I was so honored when I met you. I was almost like starstruck. I really was. Oh, go ahead, hit your video button. Is he on there? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I already know you know who that is. However, but listen, we have the one and the only. This is an icon in his own right. You know, blazing the west side of Chicago. I mean, blazing, and a lot of people have been birthed out of his choir as well. But we're so honored to have Dr. Mark Caston on the travel, paying homage to Keith Butler in the delegation. How you doing, Mark?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm just grateful that you would even ask a person like me to be a part of this. This honoring of Brother Keith Butler. I'm still happy about it.
Well, listen, you definitely have a great. You're great on the west side of Chicago on the community, choir community scene. Is you know you already know this. You know I don't want you to say oh no because you know this. You know you've made your mark and you paved the way for many. So I definitely want to enforce that so that you know that we do know that you're awesome too. And I want to tell you thank you for your contribution to gospel music. So what is your definition of Keith Butler and the delegation of Christ Chorale for Christ Chorale?
One word comes to mind: stellar. You know, I've watched Keith. It wouldn't be me, just for Christ, if we had not had choirs like Delegation. Just to see Keith, the professionalism, the musicians, the singers. I've had many friends come out of Delegation. Just an outstanding choir all around. Just to have his mentorship. Never been a time where I couldn't come to him and ask him for advice. Always open arms. Always had a good word to give. You know, and it changed the dynamics of the West Side choirs. You know, and he was instrumental with the West Side Alliance. One of the big brothers who would often, you know, talk to the other choirs who were just getting started or trying to figure it out. You know, so.
That's great. That's great. Now listen. Now I want to know because I don't know. Have you ever shared the stage with Keith?
Yes, I have many times.
Give me one good encounter.
Because we had the West Side Alliance, we would probably get together every couple of months, okay. And all the choirs would share. But one thing I would tell you, everybody went home to do their homework because they knew, you know, they knew what was going to happen.
Wow, that's amazing. So listen, I mean, we don't want to be here forever, and I'm so honored to have you. I just want to keep really to see your face, man. I mean, because you're iconic, and, you know, it's just an honor to have you a part of this history-making podcast. So real briefly, what can you say publicly to Keith?
First of all, I would like to thank you for having me on again. And Keith, I love you, man, for every word of advice you've ever given. It has stuck with me. I'm still living it. I'm still preaching it. I'm still walking in it. And, you know, and I'm just grateful that I could have someone like him in my life to be a mentor as well.
Wow. Well, listen, we're so appreciative that you are a part of the travel, and we will talk to you soon. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you so much.
No problem. We're gonna go to a song by the Delegation. If you pull it up, I can't remember what I saved it under. Hopefully everyone's enjoying. I see Eloquent Uncle Q Weaver is watching. It's going to be the one to say footage. Yeah. I see he's watching the Hallelujah Singers from Detroit. That's amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're gonna play this tune, and we'll be back with some more great information. Yes, 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 yes. I see. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned Sister Kimberly Butler. This is Keith Butler's twin sister, and she's watching, and we will hear from her really, really soon. And then definitely we'll be hearing from the man himself, Keith Butler. We'll definitely be hearing from him really soon. And if you haven't already did it, go ahead and press share, because I want to share all of this so that our generation today could definitely understand and know a piece of history of someone who definitely paved the way for community choirs. And we're talking about a giant here, and we're so honored that we have this opportunity to be talking and giving him his flowers while he can smell them. So we're going to go to a selection. Oh my God, did you all hear that? And like, did you see the audience? Like, I'm almost sure when people see this, some people probably saw themselves on tonight. I think I saw Deacon Joseph Manuel. I think I saw Caprice Brown in the audience. A list go on and on. I mean, as you can see, the impact that they had. That church was packed, and I believe that was Mars Hills. That was phenomenal. That was a phenomenal footage. Let's see here. We're going to go to that video, and then we're going to call Kim.
Which one?
The last one, that right there. No.
Oh.
Yeah. That was a phenomenal video. Keith, wow. Job well done, sir. Job well done. Antonio Williams, yes, sir. Glad to be a part of Keith Butler and the Delegation for Christ. Tim Terry, how are you? Let's see here. Wow. This is amazing. This is awesome. Carrie Caston.
Praise the Lord, everybody. I'm here to pay homage to Keith Butler and the Delegation for Christ Chorale. I remember I joined Delegation for Christ Chorale in 1995. It was the first community choir I have ever joined. It was an amazing experience to see 100 choir members doing the same moves and so uniform the way that they were, and this man directing the way that he did. It was amazing for me. The experience was great. I joined his ministry after high school, so I definitely appreciate the opportunity to even minister under the anointing of the Delegation for Christ Chorale and Keith Butler. Down through the years, we traveled and we recorded and sang at many different churches, and so many people's lives have changed because of the Delegation for Christ Chorale. So paying homage to Keith Butler is the least that we can do. He's a man after God's heart. He direct under the anointing. He taught under the anointing. He was very compassionate. He loved people. He loved music. And he even helped with the Opal River Forest Gospel Choir recording. If I'm not mistaken, he wrote a few songs. And, just so many things that he's done. So I would be remiss to not at least acknowledge this man of God, this friend, a husband, a father, so many things he is. So, Keith Butler, I appreciate you. Thank you for the opportunity to join your ministry. It set the way for me to continue in ministry. And love you. Take care and enjoy your night.
It's just breathtaking. So we have the one and the only, let's see here. We have the one and only, drum roll, Kim Butler, which is, this is Keith's twin sister, and she's a minstrel in her own right, musician, a teacher, a leader, just the whole 9 yards. And we're so honored to have her on the travel. And how you doing, Kim?
I'm good. Glad to be on your show.
We're so honored. And, we go way back. I mean,
back.
I've known you a great portion of my life. I mean, every time I think I know you, And you were so supportive to me through the tender of the show. Let's talk about music.
Yeah.
Had you on there so many times, and one particular time, which was the time that I got a chance to meet your brother, you all, New Beginning was on there, and you all did Never Seen the Righteous, and guess who played the piano? The one and only Keith Butler. Listen, tell us one of your fondest memories of Keith Butler in the Delegation for Christ.
My fond memory of Keith was when he was a part of creation before he started Delegation.
Okay.
And And when he told me that he started Delegation, I told him congratulations. And I think he wanted me to be a part of it, and I wouldn't budge. But the fondest memory of him is the crowd that he gathered when he did his concerts and when he did his workshops and things of that order. I remember when I was a part of another group, and him and Delegation for Christ and SOS.
Oh, wow. Souls of Salvation.
Special guest.
Okay.
Yes, was a special guest of one of our musicals. And that was the fondest memory. And we had some church that day. And I love to see him and Delegation just praise God. They just let God have his way in their lives.
Wow.
And that was the fondest memory that I have of Keith.
Wow. Well, listen, we just wanted to make sure that you were a part of this groundbreaking and historic podcast. So tell Keith you love him really fast, and just like 30 seconds of something, inspiration that you can just speak over his life that he can take with him for the rest of his life from his sister.
Keep up the good work, my brother. You know I love you. You've been there through thick and thin. You've been there through my sickness. And keep up the good work. You are a phenomenal man of God. And just keep up. Keep doing what you're doing for Christ, because you know God is pleased with you as you go on and do this ministry that He has you to do, because this is your calling.
Wow. Well, we love you, Sister Kimberly Butler.
I love you too.
And we will be talking to you soon.
All right. God bless you.
All right. Bye. And no further ado, we're going to go ahead and give Keith a call. Wow. This has just been deep, you know. So many memories has been shared. And that's why we do the travel, because we like to pay homage and definitely travel back to trailblazers. And we're calling Keith Butler on Skype, and we will get a chance to see and hear from this icon himself, the man of the hour. Keith? Are you here? Yeah, I think you gotta hit your button one more time, Keith. And turn the speaker down too, because you're getting the feedback. Yeah. There you go. And make sure you keep your speaker down. Actually, just turn your speaker down, because you're getting the feedback from you. Okay, say something. We're gonna go to a video and then we'll get this straight. Go to one of his go to the last video that we had, because we want to make sure everybody get a chance to hear what thus saith the legislature. Which one you want to do? Let's do no. It should say Jesus with, yeah, that one. And then we're gonna work on this. Keith, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Keith, can you hear me? Keith, can you hear me? I think you got your microphone on, but your microphone might be on mute.
Hear me?
I can hear you now. Keep talking.
Yeah.
You got to take this first.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Hey, hello? Hello? I'm going to call him.
Is he still on there? Keith, can you hear me?
I can hear you,
Okay.
sir.
Oh, wow. Okay, better. Okay, we got you now. So hold off on Tim. I'll just perhaps give him a call while I'm on the phone with. Did he go off? Sorry about this, but without further ado, definitely you understand where we're coming from, the impact that Keith Butler has definitely made. We're trying to get this together. We might have to just, Keith.
Yes, sir.
We got a picture of a screen, not you.
I thought I turned it around. My bad.
Okay, there you go. Okay. All right, so Keith, without further ado, we've heard abundance of thus far, and with no delay, just tell us how do music relate to your life?
Music has always been a part of my life. Always been a major part of my life, from an aspect of from the time I was a little boy. My mom used to sing, so I used to go to rehearsal with her. Me and my sister Kim, which is not my twin sister, by the way.
I'm so sorry.
She's not my twin sister.
Thank you
She's
so much.
older than me.
Oh God, is she older?
Yeah, but
okay.
That's okay. I'm fine with her being my twin, but she's actually not my twin.
Okay, thank you.
And we used to go to rehearsal with my mom, and I would sit down on the piano with my uncle Theophilus, and I would just sit down and peck around on the piano. And music has been a part of my life ever since. I don't know what I would do without it.
Wow. When did you get your inspiration to start Delegation for Christ Chorale?
I was in Creation Ministries with Paul Turner.
Okay.
That's where I started.
Okay.
I started with him.
Okay.
Definitely. I was with them for 8 years, I believe.
Wow.
And then while there, God just gave me the call to start Delegation.
Wow. Now listen, your project is definitely refreshing, and his love is a signature of hope and encouragement. We're referring to the song, you guys. And so when you were considering your song selection, what was your method for your recording?
Well, Mark Hubbard and Malcolm Williams, they helped produce it.
Okay.
So as we sat down and really talked about the music, my goal was to put music out that would encourage people to come to Christ. Mm-hmm. That's always been my motto. My motto in music ministry for me is to prick the heart of the sinner to be saved, and encourage the heart of the saint so that they can keep going. So I wanted to pick music. He's been good to me, written by Pastor Fred Wilson, His Love, written by Patrick Bolton, and his brother Chris Bolton sang it. Wow. Just different songs that were on there. Bruce Smith out of, right there on the West Side. Wrote Lord, I'm Ready. Bishop Al Reese wrote Going Home and I'm on the Battlefield. Curtis Branson sang, wrote Worthy Is Your Name. And,
did you see the video? Was that him singing on that?
That was Curtis singing.
Wow,
yep.
He looks totally different.
So that's how we just went across and just picked the best songs that went on.
Well, look, I actually have an article up right now. It was written by Gospel Flavor. For you all that don't know, Gospel Flavor was an iconic magazine. I believe it was right in the 90s, the mid-90s, or late 90s, all the way up to somewhere in the 2000s. But it was really iconic because you got a chance to get a little history of the new music that was coming out. And I find this article quite interesting. I'm gonna just read a little bit of this for you guys out there. Pretty much it says it's always good to grab another dose of a good track, slamming track or slamming choir. This debut project from Keith Butler and the Delegation for Christ on Divine, we're going to talk about that, Keith. Divine Line Records is certainly all of that and some. The short opening song, Come to Worship Jesus, which is something that I listen to while I'm jogging on the treadmill at LA Fitness, sets the tone for the rest of the album. With a killer walking bass, while we're speaking of, who was the bass guitarist on the album?
We had two bass players.
Okay.
We had John Owens and we had Kenneth Crowder.
Wow. And then it also goes along setting the powerful pace. Then it says that's the groove that continues with severity, up-tempo, and selections such as title track, He's Worthy, and also Battlefield, a track that is also interesting for the short segment near the end of it, where the choir parts stagger against the other. Recorded, now this is powerful here, recorded at Ebenezer Church in their home base of Chicago. I'm not familiar. Not Ebenezer. We're not speaking of where Mahalia, right? No, that was Sailor. Ebenezer, was that on the west side?
No, that was on the south side.
Right.
Actually, I believe like 45th and it wasn't. I don't remember where Ebenezer was, but it was on the south side.
There's a
nice big old church.
Yeah, it's an iconic spot. If I'm not mistaken, I know Roberta Martin was at Mount Pisgah, but either Thomas Dorsey, Ebenezer. I think Thomas Dorsey spent some time there before he went to Pilgrim. So I just wanted to shut that in there. But Ebenezer, definitely historical church, and I can only imagine that the place was filled to capacity. And it goes on and reads that this was a memorable celebration, bringing both Mark Hubbard and Daniel Weatherspoon on board. Was Daniel a part of this project as well?
Yes, he was the music director for it.
Wow.
He did the studio. He did a lot of the studio tracks.
Wow. And then I'm going to just read this and we're going to move on. It says, Mark Hubbard, a Ty Scott artist, director of United Voices for Christ, takes hold of the production on the project, displaying excellence that should be widen the eyes of all those in earshot of his work. Now that's a mouthful right there. So listen here, I would consider it now. I would consider it an EP because it was brief and to the point. You did a job well done on that project, and I want to tell you thank you so much for giving that into eternity because it will live, from this day, forever. So job well done, Keith.
Thank you, brother.
No
Thank you.
problem. So how do you feel to hear all of the words that was said on your legacy? Like, how do you feel right now?
Man, first of all, I want to thank you. Most definitely, I want to thank you for thinking of me to even to say, hey, man, let's look at your life. Let's travel back in time with you. I feel very honored, humble, and I didn't know that so many people felt the way that they did. It was just good to see Alvin and Mark Caston and hear my sister and Deacon Joe, Deacon Manuel, and just everybody, Donald and Jason. Oh my God, that was a big surprise for me. Jason Taylor. I've been knowing him since he was in kindergarten, so it was tripped out to hear him talk about me like that, and just everybody. I was just so elated with Larry and Brother Young. I was just so elated. I did the best I could in trying to set a standard, really, with music. What I wanted to do was that I wanted to take the music ministry and build a choir that didn't do everything else that every other choir did.
Right.
So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make sure that we exemplified what other choirs didn't do. That went from music to the way that we looked, taking care of business, just being really, really professional, as so many spoke about it. Can't forget about David as well, David Massey, my little brother from Oak Park. I've just done so much, and to just reflect back in my life, it make me want to do it again. I might have to step back in it, just a little bit, I'm getting old, so I might have to step back in it just a little bit.
I can't remember who it was, but they said, please, I think it was Lewis. I think he said, please bring it back. But listen, I definitely, of course, we heard an abundance of things, and I definitely just had to have you on here for the history. I wanted to ask you something. I want you to speak. Before I ask you, I want to tell you this from the bottom of my heart, because I'm so overjoyed, because it's rare in life to find someone to have an impact on. I heard nothing negative. Okay, so it's rare to find someone that carries such an impact. So that means you're a good leader. People follow you because you lead by example. And I just want to definitely put this out there that I'm so overjoyed, and I try not to cry because I'm very emotional, just to understand that someone has passed this way, and from a city where I'm from, and I actually got a chance to encounter you. I just want to put it out there that, no matter what you may be facing, any musician, choir director, praise team leader, whatever you might be facing, take Keith Butler, as an example that, you might not be on the mountaintop. You might not be in the White House. You might not be in Taj Mahal, or wherever the case may be. If you can make an impact in one person's life, job well done. And as you can see, you have made an impact in an abundance of life. And I just really, from the bottom of my heart, I want to tell you thank you for just following the inspiration, that, because I know it's not easy at times. You know, sometimes you may feel
Yes, sir.
like, because I just recently released a project, which is not about me, but I'm just using it as an example. And sometimes you may feel like people, you know, they're not trending or tending to, you know, what it is that you're doing at the moment, you know, like you want them to. But if you just stay in the race a little while longer, the fruit of your labor will begin to pay off. And I just want to put this out there too. Keith didn't ask me to do this. You know, this was on my heart because of the impact that Keith has made on gospel music. And I just wanted to say that, Keith. And
Man, bless you, brother.
so I want you real briefly to just give us, give the choir directors today and the musicians today just a nugget that has sustained you and that kept you going in your career.
There's three things, man, that I live by. You got to be faithful. Whatever church you're at, whatever ministry you're part of, you got to be faithful and you got to be loyal to that. God honors faithfulness. He honors, he blesses you for where you are. I was at Mars Hill for 23 years before I moved to Houston, Texas.
Wow.
I've been at the church Greater Pure Light under the direction of Pastor Broussard for the last 9 years.
Wow.
So God honors faithfulness. Now, was it easy or is it easy? It's not always easy.
Right.
But if you stay faithful to the call that God has given you, he'll bless you. I love the song by Harvey Watkins and the Canton Spirituals.
Oh, yeah.
And he say, I've been struggling, I've been straining, but I'm on my way home. He said, I recorded a lot of songs and some of them didn't get played. He said, but I hope somebody was saved.
You watch
and
out
at the
now.
end of the day, that's music ministry.
Right.
If you're not doing it for God, you don't need to be doing it.
Right. That's
especially if you call yourself a music minister.
That's right. That's some good stuff.
Number two, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm listening to you. I said that's some good stuff. What's number two?
Number two is that you can't bounce around everywhere and looking for the money, looking for the dollar. You can't chase money.
Right.
God blesses you. Once again, it goes back to loyalty and faithfulness. You can't chase the dollar. Everybody want to make more money, but is it always a better fit? Right. If God gives you an assignment, stay at your assignment until he releases you from that assignment.
Wow.
And thirdly, choir directors. Direct your choir. Mm-hmm. Don't worry about the crowd. Do what God tell you to do. That goes for choir directors, musicians, worship leaders. Don't try to be anybody else. Mm-hmm. My mentor was the late Orlando Draper. Loved him. Mm-hmm. Loved him. Just his tenacity with directing. That was my music mentor. But he told me one thing, and I never forget it. He said, don't worry about the crowd.
Right.
There's two things. He said, don't worry about how the crowd react. If you do what God told you to do, mm-hmm. the crowd is going to respond the way that they need to respond.
Wow.
And he said, number two is always be yourself.
Always be yourself.
Be original. He said, I'm crazy. I direct crazy. I look crazy, but I am always going to be Orlando, and I'm going to do it the way that I do it. And that man lived his life by that creed. That's for sure.
Wow. Well, listen, Keith, man, it's been a blast. We're going to go off with a song, and I just want to tell you thank you so much, and pray that this, I know it will, but this live forever, but we just want to tell you again, we salute you, and thank you so much for even allowing us to do this, and we'll definitely talk to you soon, Keith. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, brother.
Keith Butler of the Delegation of Christ Chorale. Talk to you later, Keith.
Peace, everyone. Thanks for joining.
There should be a MP4. He's been good to me. We can go out on there. Thank you all so much for joining. And just wait till you see the travel next month. We have another trailblazer, and we're so grateful for the travel. No, the MP4, the one with just the picture. Yeah, the one right under, next to Deacon. Yeah. Yep, and thank you all so much for sharing your time to watch this as we travel back into the career of Dr. Keith Butler and the Delegation for Christ Chorale. He's been good to me. And don't you ever give up. Who are out there that may be feeling like giving up? Don't you dare give up. I don't care what it is. All right, and you all thought we were done. We definitely had another trick up our sleeves. And as you can see, the man on the screen right there, the phenomenal, the one and the only Dr. Tim White. Tim, how are you?
I'm doing great, Mr. Eric Clark, man. How are you?
I'm doing great, but we definitely would have been remiss if we did not hear from the powerhouse himself from the west side of Chicago. Go ahead, tell something to Keith Butler publicly that you've admired about him for years.
Oh, my God. I've always admired Keith Butler and Delegation. I used to follow them around on the west side, just loving their music and loving his directing and playing. He's always been one to give the younger generation a chance. So I just salute him tonight, and I pray that God continues to bless him. Even while he's in Texas, I've had the opportunity to visit his home, and him and his wife have shown me so much love and support. So I just want him to know that I love him and appreciate him. Keep doing what he's doing for the kingdom.
All right, Tim, we love you. You heard it from Tim White himself. Go ahead, get home safely.
Love y'all too, Eric, and you be encouraged, Eric. You stay on the wall, man. I love what you're doing.
Thank you so much. We'll talk with you, Tim.
All right,
bye. And we're going out with the rest of the song, He's Been Good to Me. He's been good to me. He's been good to me. No, good to me.